So, Steph, I want to come to you for a second. What made you, first of all, how did you find Queen of the Thrones and what made you choose them for your marketplace?
So I have actually been a loving customer of Dr. Marisol's since she started way, way back at the beginning. And so when I began Holistic Goddess and began my, trusted brand marketplace and started, I obviously from the beginning, I pulled all of my favorite companies. And she was the first because I'm like, I have to have this. I know that this is so important for women. I love that it is a great entrance to holistic health. I've seen that in people time and again. We actually do have a lot of people. I mean, obviously, it's a very huge seller for us.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of people come in and they start with the castor oil, and then the next month they get something else, and then they add something else, and you can watch their whole routine kind of flourish. And I'm just like, oh, look at all these holistic guys.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew of her company, was a personal fan, personal user for many, many years. So it was one of my first ads and easily pretty much our best seller in terms of trusted brands.
Amazing. And I think, it goes back to is that hope, because people are like, beauty is an entry point for holistic medicine 100% of the time.
It is.
Because you like I'm not going to give up like my beauty routines and my things. Like I'm sure you're not either, it's so important to who we are as women. Yeah. And so it's such an entry point. And then once they see that and they get hope and it's like, oh, wow. Like, and I think that's where too, where we have like, some pretty large influencers who just talk about castor oil all the time, like Shea Whitney, Chalene Johnson, and, they're addicts, you could say, like they love it because they use it all different ways. They're putting it on their body. They're using it like on their eyelashes, on their eyebrows. There's even a practice of, doing a belly button oiling. So you put castor oil in your belly button, even just stimulation of the belly button, it activates the vagal nerve and just can, again, feel that soothing sensation. And it's an easy thing you can do like during a stressful day. So yeah, it's super cool to see that people like enter with castor oil because it's one of the oldest, the original beauty influencer was Cleopatra, and her claim to beauty and fame, and that she owed her beauty of her eyes and her hair, eyebrows and eyelashes was to castor oil, because that's where it all began, was in ancient Egypt and Greece. And so it's really an ancient beauty care practice. And so I'm just working on reviving this clean beauty, this one ingredient that belongs in everyone's beauty cabinet.
Well, what's interesting is you've really created a movement, because I saw on your Instagram, you have like over 150,000 followers. Yeah. So clearly, and just to really talk about castor oil, so clearly people are interested and following and want to know more. What I noticed from your Instagram though, is that you're blending it with a lot of different, either companies, sources. I saw honey, I saw sugar. Steph, are there some other things that you guys have been promoting to blend castor oil with?
Yeah, so we have some other companies in our trusted brand marketplace that we have a gua sha. I have them here. I'm going to show them, give them to Marisol. I'll let her tell you because she's the queen, the expert over here. All things castor oil, but it's really amazing for me to be able to not only support companies that are creating these like things like gua sha for, movement of your skin, your face, all of those self-care things that are beauty related, which again is such a great entrance point. And then also be able to pair them, right? So we're supporting multiple different female companies and creating this powerhouse of goddess self-care.
I love it.
Yeah. So we have like facial cups. These ones just launched, I think 2 weeks ago, from Within,
tell me what those are. Those look cool.
They are so cool. So these are glass.
Yeah, perfect.
You tell us about them. You're the expert here.
Again, castor.
They look like, for people that are not watching, that are listening, they look like little light bulbs almost. Explain what they look like for people driving right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So what you do with these have been used in traditional Chinese medicine forever, since the beginning of time. And really, truly what they do is they do it cupping, and many people know cupping practice. You might have seen like some famous movie actresses with like cupping down their back where they have those big red, like round circles. Like that's what people
I love cupping, by the way. It gets I notice for me, I always get to the point where I feel like my blood is stagnant almost. Yes. And I go in, and within 48 hours after that, if I've missed my period a few times, I find that I get my period. I find that if I had really bad back pain, it's gone within 24 hours. It totally changes my body. So
Yeah,
anyway, sorry, go
I love
on.
cupping too.
Yeah,
Love
and
it.
it's the same thing for beauty. Like, and cupping is used for beauty, but just the cups are a lot smaller, right? Where the cupping for the body and for physical ailments are quite large, the cupping for facial beauty is a lot smaller. And the whole point of it, you want to have something that helps it to slide and glide. And so castor oil is the best oil for that. So you would just like apply the castor oil, and then you would literally like cup it and
You
then
suction
and
it,
then
right?
slide it up.
And then use the suction.
And you're doing that
move
in
it through your
an
face.
area. So you're really aiming to like, slide it up. And that suction action actually moves circulation, there's lymphatic flow that happens. And the castor oil serves as the moisturizer underneath in order to, again, you're wanting that deep hydration and that rich nourishment from the oil. And again, if you want to as well too, some people even include things like essential oils, like frankincense oil, because frankincense is an oil that is known to be highly anti-inflammatory. So that's a great way to do it. You just have to be careful if you do combine any essential oils on the face, that you steer clear from the eye area.
Okay. And also like with the body, it could bruise. So how do you make sure you're not bruising your face?
I mean, again, what's helping is to use that slide and glide oil.
Got it. Okay.
And that's
so you're not kind of doing what you do on your back, where sometimes they do it really hard and they leave it there.
No,
leaving it there.
yeah, you don't, yeah, you're not sticking it there and leaving it there. You're actually just going and slide.
It's the movement.
Okay.
The movement that you want, and you do it in different patterns. And then you could do it on your forehead for your forehead lines. For your 11s, you can do it on the marionette lines. So you can really go along like all the different lines, like lifting them up.
So again, you're getting to purchase that, you're getting the glass bottle of the organic golden castor oil. Then you're pairing it with this cupping thing. Okay. What else?
Exactly.
Or the other thing, so that's within is that trusted brand company. And then we have Bloom Balance, which is another amazing company. And then they have this beautiful white jade gouache wash stone. And then same thing, you can use the castor oil and then
push it up.
Like
okay, because we've seen all this on TikTok, you guys, where
you have
these kids that are like shaping their face, but I don't know that they're really promoting to use any oil with it. They're just saying the jade is good for your face. So this is interesting. You put it with the castor oil and it actually makes the movement smoother.
You got it. Yeah. And this is these are my favorite practices. Like I travel with a gua sha and I travel with cups, and I always have them in my travel because it's again, there's self-care routines that you want to do regularly.
Yes.
It's different from something like a Botox or a filler where you get instant benefit after the bruise and all that goes away. But this is over time. But you'll see on TikTok and on Instagram people who show their before and afters, and it's rather impressive for something so simple, so ancient, to have such profound effects. And, I'm just so excited about it. And I'm excited for our cosmetic line launch also. Awesome.
Yes. Oh, okay. Well, okay. First, I want to hear about that. But Steph, were there any more products you want to highlight from that you mix?
That we mix? No, I don't. But Bloom Balance does have another Chinese medicine thing, which is ear seeds, which Dr. Marisol is a big fan of. And it's kind of something that if you don't go to a Chinese medicine practitioner or an acupuncturist or naturopath, you probably never heard about ear seeds. But I personally have used them in my healing journey, and they've made a huge impact in migraines and stress relief. And I just love how simple it is.
Yeah.
So show me what is that? I don't even see what it is.
I don't even think I can show you because they're so small. They are literally like baby little seeds. Like you wouldn't even be able to see, but they're baby little seeds. And they have like an outside like little stick-it that helps us stick it on the skin. And what you do is you put them on certain traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture points. For example, there's one here in the middle of the head, which is called yin tang, and that's very calming. This one you would only do if you're only wearing the seed overnight for certain reasons. What I tend to do with the yin tang to target this one is I tend to more do like lavender essential oil. I'll do castor oil over eyebrows and eyelashes and then wear the mask. So that's a little bit better for that one. But there's a point here in the back of your head, right behind your ear. There's a little mountain, which is the mastoid process. So this mastoid process is also, it's a very calming point in traditional Chinese medicine that completely calms your body down. Like, you could use acupressure on that point, and like, it's just a way to rapidly like get relaxed. And so what you can do is you put the ear seeds on there, and the ear seeds will actually stimulate it, and it'll be a constant source of stimulation to keep the body calmer. Because, here's the thing is that the most important thing for us to feel well in our bodies and to be well is honestly, we live in a 24/7 stress
I talk
state.
about that all the time.
And we could be taking all the expensive supplements, doing all the expensive cosmetic treatments, expensive food, organic, all of this. But if we're in this state of stress, our body's likely not absorbing, not being able to do anything with that, and you're still, going to be looking older than you want to. In fact, one of the main reasons why women age faster in their face is because they have neck tension, which is preventing the flow of blood and lymphatic drainage. Imagine that. So, that's the power of doing these self-care practices, getting massages and taking care of the self, or even cupping in those areas too.
Yeah. The routine of these. The ear seeds do come with a little booklet that tells you where to put them.
Okay.
There's just a very cool offering, which I'm just so excited to be supporting, another female small business. And for me, it's something that has been very beneficial for me. And I'm always very focused on things that I personally love. Like literally one of the Instagram reels that we did is, have you tried everything on the site? And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't get past me. Like it doesn't come if I haven't tried it. So yeah.
Well, yeah. And let's talk about that for a second. What are your favorites? So for people that are listening that want to get into holistic, is the word naturopathic,
Naturopathic, yeah.
Naturopathic, yeah. Medicine or things for their wellness. Steph, give me a couple of your favorites from your either trusted marketplace, from your site in general, that people can try, that they'll see real effects, that it might be something they wouldn't have heard of, or, things that are your favorites.
Totally. Well, I'm going to say bison.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know you're a fan, because
I am such a fan. I'm such a fan.
I can't live without it. Like I literally popped 6 before it came out. Like, oh my God, I need this. I mean, for me, like I've talked about before when I've been on your show, we've talked about the difference between bison versus beef and how bison is cleaner and more bioavailable. And it's just very supercharged. And for me, I mean, this, we've talked about it. It's 3 days and you feel like a different person. And then all of a sudden you can't live without it. So it's always going to be bison for me. And then my second is obviously the castor oil. I'm a huge fan, been a fan forever, right? Bless like you. For me, this is like a marriage made in heaven, totally, right? Because it's, women coming together who love what each other are doing and supporting each other. And that's, a huge part of my mission, which I talk about all the time. And so, bison, I love all of it, right? It wouldn't be listed if I didn't like it.
And honestly, like I have to say, like
it's all good. It depends where you're starting from.
Holistic Goddess is a dream come true. I've been imagining this for so long, to find a company that would do that, again, because of the, even though there may be trust and confidence because you're a Prime member on Amazon. Yeah. But again, there is very little regulations in terms, or even strict standards that are upheld in terms of, checking the quality of the products or making sure that it actually is what it is in the bottle. But with Holistic Goddess, it's like she's living, breathing it, doing it. And it makes me so proud to partner with you, because it is something that is so needed in this day and age, because there's just so much noise of what is out there, especially with the rise of social media and TikTok and everything. So this is just gorgeous. I love this. I love what she's doing.
Thank you.
Steph, what are the things that you do for due diligence to find these trusted partners?
Yeah, so we definitely obviously speak to each company, find out what their sources are, what kind of testing they're doing, what standards they're being upheld to, do they have an organic certification, things like that. And then obviously we try everything ourselves. There's been plenty of things where I haven't liked it. And it's, everybody's like you said on Instagram, they're like, oh my God, try this new hydration thing. It's the most amazing thing you've ever tried. And then I try and I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
They're being paid to push this, which I understand. We all have to have a business and make money, but I am thoroughly testing different companies. And then of course, I'm always putting that emphasis on, female small business wherever possible. Hydration is a great example of that, because we did try so many different electrolytes and some of them are just awful. And we were about to literally night of, so we launch all of our trusted brands on a Wednesday. So Tuesday night, we're we got the pages ready. Everything's ready to go. We're going to launch this new trusted brand. It's a fairly big name. I obviously won't say it. Yeah. I don't want to call them out. Everybody's got to do their own thing. And then this other company called Goodanya came across I think I just found it on Instagram. Somebody shared it. I was like, what's that? And I started looking into it and reading about the founder, who's a former Olympic athlete. And her ingredients were not only 10 times cleaner. I literally called my team on it, pause. no, we are not launching this other one. I need to try this one first. It fits way more of my criteria, and completely ended up just not going with this other company and going with hers. And it's amazing. It's organic.
Love it.
It's so good.
So, and that's something important to remember, that just because someone has heard a company's name over and over because it has a lot of money behind it, doesn't necessarily mean that the credibility
Yeah.
is there. Some of you said, I have a question about, does holistic mean organic? Like, do we need to only be having organic products?
No, holistic really means looking at the whole, right?
Okay.
And holistic health is looking at that mind, body, spirit connection. It is looking at the entirety of everything. People will generally use holistic in place of like clean or natural, but that's not actually what it means.
Yeah.
If you have a holistic mindset, you're looking at that sort of mind, body, spirit, everything.
Yeah.
And then when I find other holistic companies, I know that they're sharing the same values as me.
And one thing that I could say about this industry, because, you know, coming from a place of being a doctor or practitioner in clinical practice with patients, and then evolving into a brand who works with influencers, you know, it's not necessarily that people are paid. It's just that we really have to start to distinguish, like, who is saying what, and do they have a background? Do they actually understand the testing? Like, you know, this is the problem within the castor oil world, is that people don't understand the testing. They're just testing it to see, like, okay, it doesn't have heavy metals, but what about rancid levels, and does it contain all the different things? I think it's who's in behind the brand and who is promoting to you, and to really look at people who do have that integrity and are taking it a step further. Because I know we were having a conversation yesterday about how you tested all the vitamin C's.
Yeah.
And most of them on on
Amazon.
Yeah.
I
And
think we talked about this last time I was
Yeah.
here, that we tested a whole bunch of vitamin C's, just like more generic brands off Amazon, and we sent them away to like a third party testing. They didn't even have vitamin C.
yeah.
They were, 98%
Rice flour.
rice flour. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Or
it's
sugar. Yeah.